But then your boys, obviously, Fraser, getting that win over Tonga, you guys, as a whole, you'd be lamenting that loss. I know before we went live, you were talking about it, lamenting that loss to Samoa in that first game. Very tough to have that taken away from you in the, 82nd minute after the hooter.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of positives from the comp, though. I think the comp as a whole was awesome. Australia A being back there, I think, since, I don't know when,
2012?
2008 or something.
Or was it 08?
8 or 9, yeah.
So for over a decade, and just good getting to meet a lot of new boys that probably haven't played a lot of rugby with. You come across them in Super, but then actually get to know them and spend 3 weeks with them, become quite close. So probably why we did so well.
How good is it? Uncovered a few guys, in my opinion.
Lungy Gleeson.
Lungy Gleeson was
the man.
Insane.
The freak, yeah.
Peach?
Dylan Peach, my roomie.
He was good.
Was he your roomie?
Yeah, shout out to Rooms. Yeah, he was good.
John C. Riley, the guy out of Step Brothers.
Yeah.
The other one, not Will Power.
Yeah.
Not Will.
Sort of.
Hey, to explain it.
The other one.
The other guy.
Yeah, Lungy Gleeson, mate.
Yeah.
He was
Killed
killing people on the weekend.
Yeah.
He was very good.
But yeah, your thoughts on the competition and then the Australia A program having come back. We've discussed it. We think it's obviously a really good thing to see guys like yourself and obviously Lungy Gleeson getting up there and Hamish Stewart and Lalakai Fiketti, guys who probably we knew are of that Wallaby standard, get to play against other international sides and not sort of go back to clubland. It must be good to be able to play to that standard as many times as possible if you're not in that higher squad.
Yeah, I think going into the comp, I think a lot of boys didn't probably know what to expect. Obviously, hadn't been around since 2008, and I think boys were sort of a bit iffy about it going to Fiji 3 weeks with a lot of people you haven't met before, and coaching staff that hadn't been together. Obviously, a few boys like myself, I know all the coaching staff really well, so I knew what they were going to deliver, and it was a great camp. I think they made it what it was, and that's why we did so well. The culture was great, off-field was really good. When footy was on, it was footy, but after footy there was nothing on. So you're in Fiji, we're in a Silva and Nandi, so we're able to get out, and we had a few locals in Filippo and Seru, and Peachy's been there heaps with the Sevens, so they were able to get out and show us the ropes, and yeah, there was a lot to do, and the people over in Fiji are fantastic. They're so kind and genuine, so I think they probably loved having us over there as well.
And Jason Gilmore was obviously the coach over there. I've been waxing lyrical about just how good of a coach he really is. Do you think, because obviously he's still just an assistant down there at the Tars, DC's killing it. Do you think there are higher honours for him, say, in the Super Rugby fold as a head coach anytime soon? Do you think he's up to that standard? Yeah, definitely. I love Gilly, and I had him for 20s and I had him for here, and I don't think his coaching's changed. I think what Gilly's really good at is his connection with the boys. I think that's pretty important, especially as a head coach role. I think you've got to be able to empathise and be able to read your players, and he does that really well. And he's able to deliver motivational speeches, and as you do as a head coach. But he also understands the game really well, both on the ball and off the ball. And obviously, from all the reports from the Tars boys, DC's a great coach. And they love Gilly, so I think they're working really well in tandem. So I think Gilly's really happy where he is at the moment, but I'm sure in the future that's probably his end goal. He wants to coach somewhere, and what he said to me, he wants to win somewhere. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, then I'm sure he'll get there.
How was the physicality in those games? There's some big hits getting around there.
Yeah, that first game against Samoa, we played at 1 o'clock in Silva.
I was about to say what time we got.
And I think the game on Saturday was probably worse because it was at 12, but we played at 1, and we honestly probably didn't know what to expect. We flew in on Coogee the following Sunday, so we had 3 sessions to prep for that game. And then, the first 20 minutes was bash first. And that probably showed in the viewing. And then, as you know, as sort of the big boys sort of get, as the game goes, further on and gets hotter, or it's hot, you kind up them out. You learn to just don't run at them, work them around the corner.
You learn that pretty quickly.
Go from there. But physicality was up there.
Well, you reckon? Obviously, we've asked a question to a few people, but just the minor Pacifica and all that. Do you reckon that's made a massive difference with, especially those Pacific Island teams? Yeah, definitely. I think Fiji's different. Obviously, the drills there, and they had I think they had 11 or 15 uncapped players, but they also have a lot of talent overseas, and I think just having them in the Super Rugby, in the game, they get to experience playing against other Super Rugby teams, which is great, especially against the Kiwis, and against a lot of the names in the Australian A side. They sort of know what's coming. But it's just a great
showcasing of talent. It was awesome.
And Fraser, the rugby championship, obviously the next big tournament coming up. That squad will get announced, I'm assuming, sometime this week or in the near future. Have you received do you guys get any feedback from the Wallabies staff, I guess, throughout the tournament, and even more importantly, like over the last couple of days in terms of how you're going, where you're sort of sitting? Are you a look in, or do you just wait to see if the squad's announced and then they start giving the feedback?
Yeah, I think you sort of obviously, I'm not too sure what the movement's going to be around the squad. Obviously, I think each player is probably a bit different. I had Dave sort of messaged me after we beat Fiji and just said well done, and Tatsy's he's been saying good luck before each game and well done. And I'm not too sure about the squad. I know I've spoken to Wilson and Tatey about when they come back together, so I think they've got 10 days off or something like that. So I assume they'll probably have a few days, and I don't think the squad will be too dissimilar. I think it'll be quite similar, and we'll just have to see, I suppose.
Just wait and see.
Well, I want to get your thoughts, Fraser, because so many people, I think, a lot of us included, Higgers especially, was disappointed to see you miss out on that Wallabies squad. And we know Michael Hooper, the talismanic leader of the Wallabies, is obviously in front of you. What are your thoughts on it? Do you... I mean, obviously you would have been upset any chance you get to be a part of a Wallaby squad. Must be awesome. But do you think there was probably more value in you not riding Pine or just holding hit shields for the last month, but actually being able to not just play against these sides, but you were a leader a lot in that squad? Do you think there was probably more value in you being in Australia A at this time of your career than being with the Wallabies over the past month?
Yeah, well, I think my position is quite unique, right? Obviously, I'm behind the Australian captain. He's going to play every minute, and he's still playing at a super high level of footy. So, obviously, I was super gutted. I wanted to be in the Wallaby squad, that's for sure. I didn't hide that. I wanted to play there, and I thought I earned the spot. But and that's what I said earlier. I didn't know quite how Fiji was going to going away for 3 weeks and going as Australia A. But in hindsight, looking back on it, it was awesome. Yeah, I loved every minute of it. I thought, like I said, the coaching group and just the culture of the boys and the standard of boys we had made it everything it was. People there who are wanting to push higher into the Wallabies. There are also boys there who just want to represent Australia in senior footy. And I think obviously it was quite serious when it had to be serious, but it was also quite fun and it wasn't too tense. I think that made it just really enjoyable, and you got to go back and actually just enjoy rugby. And I think for me, looking back on it, I think those 3 tests were great. I'd much rather play some footy, and I think obviously that's why I was there to play rugby. Looking back on it, I wouldn't have played over the past 3 games if I played against England. So I think playing's a lot better, especially the calibre of teams that were over there, Tonga, Samoa and Fiji. I think it was great, and hopefully I can get back in the Wallaby squad, but I'm not too sure what's going to happen, all the movements that's going to happen. So hopefully I can get some feedback and then just go from there. Hopefully I can lace up the boots for brothers sometime soon and go from there.
Get out.
Yeah.
just on your tour phrase, obviously there's a lot of guys putting their hands up on the field, and there's 2 parts to a tour. You got obviously the on-field stuff. So who really stood up for you, on the field, but in training and stuff like that, and then obviously who was really part of that group outside of it who performed really well off the field? So let's go 2 parts. Let's look at the guys.
2-part
you know
question.
I mean? Who you went over there, he might not have known, and you're really impressed with, and thought, wow, he's been really impressive. And then let's have a chat about the.
Yeah, I think
could be the same person.
Yeah,
could be. Well, obviously on the field, looking at the squad, obviously I knew a fair few of the boys through 20s and just playing around, and obviously we talked about him before, but it's 2 and 3 games, against Fiji and Tonga and Lange, he was awesome. He stood up massively, and speaking to Gilly, he's only 20, 21, and he's
20.
And he said, he was in the system, and we sort of saw him, and so they handed him a few games, and he is a freak. He's so good, and just athletic and raw as well. So that's awesome. Obviously, another one was probably Huey Sinclair as well. I really enjoyed.
Yes.
I think
Sorry.
Whoa.
Just settle down, man.
Table's moving.
Sinclair's sick. He was very good. Sorry. Go on, Fraser, I didn't mean to
I just think he's. I think it was good to have. I think Huey's 29 and he's a bit of an older guy that probably we don't really get to experience too much at the Reds. He's settled down. He's got a bub already, and I think his approach to rugby was quite similar to, I suppose, what Smithies and those sort of boys were. Play a lot of games that are at shoot shield level, come through and earn your stripes. That's what he's done, and he just had this sort of level head about himself. He was serious when he needed to be, but he also, enjoyed a joke and was able to get on from that.
Was he the second rower?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of looks like Sloth from the Goonies. But then off the field, as Dow was talking about, who was your man of the match?
Well, there's a few. Obviously, you got different sectors we got to look at. So Lalakai was awesome because when we went to Nandi, his uncle Stephen was a manager at Cardos at the port in Denarau, which is about 20 minutes. It's where all the nice resorts are. So he was able to hook the boys up, and a few times we'd go there, and we went there for dinner as a whole group. It was awesome. You look at Bobby was really good.
Yes.
In terms of just camaraderie around the group, not
People's champion, mate.
yeah, loves it. It was really good. Smithy and Hoops are always up there as well. Like they're always up there. And then there was a few boys, Jeremy from Tars going to the Force as well, Jezza Williams. Yeah, he was really good value as well.
He was a late inclusion, wasn't
Who's
he?
that?
Yeah,
Jeremy Williams.
Jeremy Williams.
What
Yeah,
position?
he's a
Lock back row.
Lock back row. Yeah, he's a really funny man. We got along with him really well, and yeah, he was he got that charge down try against Fiji. But yeah, it was great value, and yeah, hopefully we see him again.
Love seeing Bobby over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is the
He was
man.
pretty pumped with his last little try, wasn't he? Oh, Bob.
Yeah, he could have given me one, but then I got late shot off the ball and he had a little Swanee. I gave him a bit of stick. I was like, mate, because he scored that last try and I was like, mate, where's the Swanee? He's like, nah, mate, just put it down. And the Swanee's this one. I go,
Yeah. There was some absolute
get me
carnage
dog
in-
shot in the rib for you to go try. Come on, mate.
Oh, Lungy did a good one too.
Bone rattling was that.
That guy
Crunched
was
him.
down for a long time.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of
Who?
the guy from the All Artie Sarvea. Oh my god! I was singing. No. Where? No, like not the biggest
Fringe
presence, but
Just
like leg drive, tough.
fast.
Yes, he's such a well-rounded footy player that plays so far above his
Just
weight.
leg speed is so
Yeah.
quick. So in contact, whether it's defense or attack, he just makes game line and just brutal.
Can't
I get
wait.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Thank you, Freeney.
Yep.
Thank you for validating me.